Bills of lading, a cornerstone of international trading and very important for identifying responsibility. Hi, welcome back to Commodity Brief. In this episode, we're going to be carrying on our series looking at the fundamentals of commodity trading, and here we're going to be focusing on bills of lading. Bills of lading are very important negotiable transportation documents which allow us to transfer the ownership of goods from one party to another. Now, a bill of lading, essentially we've all seen the different bills of lading, and they can have a number of different layouts, a number of different formats, and essentially the way they look doesn't really matter. It is what's included in them and the fields which are important. So, starting from the very beginning, a bill of lading essentially has three functions, and it's vitally important to understand these three functions and to keep them in mind at all times, because otherwise we can easily make mistakes. So the first function is it is a receipt. It is a receipt for the cargo that you have placed on board of the vessel or that you put on board into the containers which are being transported, and this is a receipt that confirms that the ship owner has to give you back the material, the goods, in the same condition as you gave them to them, to the ship owner. So you can use this at destination, or somebody else can use this to recover the goods. The second is that they are an evidence of the contract conditions that have been agreed with the ship owner. Now, on bills of lading, which we're using with charter parties, then we will simply have a number of clauses and refer to the charter party on the backside of the bill of lading. And when we're using bills of lading for containers on liner shipping, then we will have all of the terms agreed on the back of the bill of lading, and we won't have a separate document which been agreed. And the third function is the D, the document of title. And this is where the bill of lading can indicate to us who is the owner of the cargo which is being transported. And so that's very important, because that also allows us to transfer the ownership from one party to another and enable commodity trading to function as it does today. Now, in terms of the different bills of lading, essentially it boils down to two different types of bill of lading. First of all, you have bills of lading to be used with charter parties. And so this is the idea that you have chartered a vessel, you have the terms of the charter party agreed between the ship owner and the charterer in the charter party document, and the bill of lading is just describing how the cargo is to be carried. And so on the bill of lading itself, you have a number of fields. You have the shipper, this is the party that's loaded the cargo on board of the vessel. You have the consignee, which is a slightly complicated point, but this allows us to transfer the ownership of the cargo by using a consignee to order. And then we have notifiers, basically to say who the cargo is going to, and we have details of the transportation itself. We also have all of the terms on the back, and as I said, the first one basically says all of the terms of the charter party are incorporated into this document. So the second type of bill of lading we have is the liner bill of lading, and it's very similar on the face of it, except that here on this back side you will have all of the terms and conditions that have been agreed with the ship owner, so there is not a separate negotiation for each transportation. The terms are set and they are the same for every user of this document. So in terms of these documents, there are a number of things which are very important. First of all, we've already talked about the consignee, and so it's important that, first of all, if the document is issued with a consignee to order, then the ownership goes to the shipper. If the document is issued with the consignee to the order of a bank, then it means that the bank is the owner of the documents, normally because they have financed the documents and financed the cargo, and then they will in turn endorse the cargo onto a third party. So we have bills of lading which are very basic bills of lading, which are not negotiable, which are simply issued with a consignee in the name of somebody. This means we can't transfer the ownership on. They're not very useful unless we are controlling the entire chain and we just need a document to say the cargo is on board. We also have the negotiable documents, which can be used under a letter of credit, and this is very useful in international trade. And a couple of other points that we have on the bill of lading. One is that we will often see a term clean on board on the bill of lading. This is actually quite a silly thing because in letters of credit, it's important to have a clean transportation document. In order for a transportation document to be clean, it cannot be claused. It cannot have any negative clauses about the condition of the cargo. And so as soon as a bill of lading doesn't actually say anything negative, it is a clean bill of lading. But we've taken the extra step of writing on it clean on board, and now a lot of letters of credit actually require a clean on board bill of lading, so we have a bit of text that doesn't serve much purpose. Another thing that's very important is this shipped on board. This basically confirms that the cargo has been shipped. It has not just been given to the carrier for transportation, and this is something that does make a big difference with the legal responsibilities of the different parties involved. So, bills of lading are very important documents. We don't necessarily pay as much care to them as we should within the world of commodity trading. And one thing that we see very often is the delivery of cargo without the production of bills of lading by use of a letter of indemnity. Now, in terms of bills of lading, the way they work is they are paper documents which are printed on a normal printer and they're signed by hand and stamped. It's a very archaic way of doing the business, and so there are a lot of steps underway at the moment to see how we can make this more in line with the 21st century, really, and so how we can make digital bills of lading, electronic bills of lading, and there are a number of companies which are working hard on this. Now, it's 2018 today. I've been working the trade since 2000, and we were talking about electronic bills of lading then as well. So it's impossible to know whether they will suddenly take off or whether we will wait another 20 years before they really do take off. But with all the discussion that we have at the moment about using blockchain in the world of commodity trading, I think that electronic bills of lading will be a large part of it and will contribute to the reduction of fraud. So we have a number of companies. We have Bolero, who are developing a system, and they have a very powerful electronic bill of lading system and other electronic documents. We have a company called ESS Docs, which are also providing electronic document solutions. And we have another company called Wave, which is trying to combine blockchain with electronic bills of lading. So we'd like to see a lot of new ideas coming out over the next couple of years. But the real question is, will the bills of lading change, or will they remain to be the same as they have been for the last 200 years for the next 200 years? It's impossible to say at the moment. Thank you very much for watching Commodity Brief. I hope you'll click back soon for future episodes.